Yeah, that's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks. It's officially official. Tommy Boy Rees going to Alabama in the SEC to join Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find that program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps as well. Notifications on, you know why. That way you'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. I know that. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can get me calling line popping yesterday. Talk about some off-season poppage on the phone lines. 312-900-8815. Call and tell Johnny all you heard and seen. Fighting Irish Wire. Articles galore on Fighting Irish Wire from everybody. Yours truly, my managing editor, Nick. We're all there. Go read it. Breaking down the Rees move. So let's get into this. It's official. Tommy Boy is headed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. How do you, Mr. or Mrs. Notre Dame fan, how do you feel about this as we sit today? How should we feel about this as we sit today? And does your answer to that depend on who Notre Dame hires? Because I'm open to that. And some people say it's a cop-out, but I used the same rationale the night Kelly left for LSU. And that news broke in the evening, and I went live that night. Nobody knew who the next coach was going to be, but the main question was, John, should we be glad or mad or sad that this guy's gone? And my response is, it depends. I needed to know who we hired. Kelly was never going to get over the hump at Notre Dame, but I never said he was the worst coach that could be at Notre Dame. So my answer to that sounds like a cop-out, but it was totally genuine. I needed to know the other side of the coin to answer whether it was good or bad. I knew Kelly was never going to win anything I cared about at Notre Dame, but there was a lot of guys that could have done worse at Notre Dame and some that I think could get better results at Notre Dame. So I was in wait and see. I was excited about the potential that Kelly was gone and they'd hire somebody I liked or Freeman, my choice, because I thought that was the right path. So sure, once they hired Freeman and I got what I wanted, then I was fine with Kelly leaving. Same thing with Rees. If they hire somebody innovative that's a good communicator and a good recruiter that I like, that doesn't want to sacrifice our physicality to get more modern, I'm going to love this. It's a win. And if it's somebody unimpressive or a retread or it's unimaginative or the guy doesn't want to work hard at recruiting, then I'm not going to like it as much. And I get that that feels like a cop-out. Everybody wants the full answer right now. What about this, Notre Dame fans? What about this? And this should apply to societal and political stuff too. Why can't you just admit this is very complicated and you don't exactly know what you feel and where you fall on it 100%? Why can't that just be a reasonable answer in this discussion or dialogue? To just say, you know what, man, this is a really complicated discussion with a lot of overlapping circumstances and emotions and everything that goes into a situation with the guy we've watched grow up since he was a teenager at Notre Dame. It's fine to admit, I don't know exactly where I fall. This is all complicated. And eventually we're going to get the answer on this, whether it was the best move for everybody or just the best move for Rees, just the best move for Freeman, or everybody wins. We're going to get that answer, but it's going to take some time. So going into this, when the rumors started about Alabama, my thought was this. If he stays, I was genuinely excited to see him working with better offensive talent to see what he's really got. There would be no more excuses about not having a quarterback that can make all the throws. And why do we only have two people that are upright in the wide receiver room to start the year that could walk? Like, As the recruiting picked up, Carr, Minchie, Hartman, those wide receivers, that gave me a renewed reason to want to give Rees a chance to really take this offense to the next level. Had none of that developed, I would have been more ready to see something different and we all move on. But I do admit, with the drastic increase in offensive talent recently, I was genuinely excited to see Rees get a shot to work with that in hopes we would see a more dynamic offense. And then I thought if he took the job, I can live with that too. It rid Freeman of one of the biggest remaining lasting pieces of Brian Kelly-ness. A guy here as a recruit, here as a player, here as a coach, all under Kelly. It would rid Freeman of that Kelly scar tissue, the biggest remaining chunk of it, and free him up to further build this in his image. However, with that comes a lot of pressure and responsibility. That is a big hire at a critical point in Freeman's tenure. Freeman needs to nail this hire. The talent's improving. He's got to find the right guy to fit this and take it to the next level. I need a good communicator and educator for those young quarterbacks. That is going to be key. All right. He must be a relentless recruiter, especially as offensive coordinator dealing with quarterbacks. Now, he's got to be a relentless recruiter and an exceptional communicator. Innovative and modern, yet values and understands Notre Dame's desire to have a physical identity at their core. And I say desire because it's not something they have all the time. It is a desire, and it does rub me a little bit the wrong way that when you talk about Notre Dame and their offensive identity, it's physicality, all that. Where was it against USC? I didn't see that physicality. They rebuilt a team out of a scrap heap guys that they bought 1 year and beat you on the up front on both sides of the ball in that game. So it rubs me the wrong way about Notre Dame wanting to be physical. You couldn't even be physical against USC year one. Give me a break. So that rubs me the wrong way. So Notre Dame's desire to have a physical identity. I'm not saying they have one. If you did, you would have been the one bullying USC around on both sides of the ball, not the other way around. So I say desire for a physical identity, because if you had one, you wouldn't have got bossed around that line of scrimmage all night and handed a kid the Heisman. So now that the guy's leaving, it's option B. A big chunk of Kelly-ness is out of here. A lot of those excuses are going out the door. And the pressure's ramping up on Freeman as less and less Brian Kelly-ness surrounds him. The pressure on him goes up, and that's exactly how it should be. Exactly how it should be. Every next step away from Kelly should ramp up that pressure on Freeman. That's how it should be. As for Tommy, he's not a turncoat. He's not a traitor. The guy is a Notre Dame guy forever. People are being overdramatic. Turncoat. This is just the nature of the business. All right. And I've been saying this for years. Tommy may be genuinely happier outside of the shadow of the Golden Dome he's been living under since 17 years old. And I want to be clear about this. What I mean by this is Rees has been around the program basically since 17 years old, minus like 1 or 2 seasons. He went to Northwestern for one and then the NFL for one, I believe. All of his other teenage and 20s years have been spent at Notre Dame. However, he hasn't had full autonomy or full control in any of that time. That's a part of what I mean when I say he may be genuinely happier outside the shadow of the dome. It's one thing if you're there since 17, but you get to call all the shots, make all the decisions, then deal with the consequences. Tommy never had that. As a recruit, you don't have that power. As a player, you don't have that power. And as a coach under Kelly or Freeman, you don't have that power. That's just a lot of stress and pressure and expectations under the Notre Dame specific umbrella. People like me analyzing everything you do or don't do. That's just a lot when you're not the guy that can make a lot of changes that maybe Tommy wanted to make over the years or whatever. So he may be genuinely happier outside of the shadow of the dome and all that pressure. He might be. And it's freeing in a way for him to expand his horizons and go experience new things in a totally different way to build a football team and all that. Like, that's probably exciting and freeing for him. Good luck to him. Like, I have no ill will towards Tommy. He just never won anything as a player or a coach that I value. It's nothing personal. He has not won anything I value as a player or a coach at Notre Dame, or has contributed to anything we've won that I value at Notre Dame. None. What did he win as a player? I don't see any trophy in the case I care about. What has he won as a coach? I don't see any trophy that I care about in the case. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. There is none. There is none. So good luck to him. Longtime ND guy, no hard feelings. It's what it is. What it is. I've seen on social media this is a bad look for Notre Dame to lose Tommy Rees in a lateral move. The only thing lateral about this move is the job title on the business card. Nothing else about this is lateral to me. More pay, and I want to be clear, money was not the issue here. This is not turning into Notre Dame doesn't pony up to get their guys. That is not the issue at hand here. But I do need to mention he got a good raise, more money, even though that wasn't the primary driver. I'm very confident in that. More money. How about learning under the best guy doing it that has the most credibility, respect, and rings lately? How about learning under that guy? Quite a big benefit as opposed to learning under a guy that's learning himself. Okay? You're in the title on every single year. You're in a title chase every year. Fast track to the NFL, all these players, 5-star talent galore to run whatever you're going to want to run. Tell me how that's lateral. Tell me how that's lateral. That is a fantastic opportunity for someone in Tommy's position. No, it isn't for everybody. Not everybody likes the Alabama churn and burn NFL lifestyle. But if you're interested in that and you're trying to raise your profile, doing it under the guy that's won the most in the modern era is a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it, is it not? And the other thing is, he could try and stick it to people like me or the Notre Dame media and hope that he scores a ton of points and lights it up at Alabama. And then it's like, hey, you know, Notre Dame people wanted him out. Look what he's doing now. Like whatever. He could try that. Fine. Even if he lights it up at Alabama, he never won anything here. So it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. It's just like Kelly recruiting better at LSU than he did at Notre Dame. He didn't do it here. That doesn't impress me. He wasn't willing to do what it does here. They're two different jobs that require two different skill sets and effort levels. So if he does great at LSU at recruiting, that doesn't prove anything. He wasn't doing it here, and that's what matters to me. But if you're a Notre Dame guy and you're sad about this, like you're genuinely upset about this, I'm going to ask you why. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm objectively asking, what trophy are you proud of that Rees helped put in the case as a player or a coach? I am not trying to be a jerk. I'm genuinely asking. If you're sad about this, is it because he's a Notre Dame guy and you're sad to see your Notre Dame guy leave? Because you can't be sad about the accomplishments. Like, nobody's sad about this. Could it be, I'm sad because we're not going to see this Rees offense light up a playoff game? You can't be sad about this. So what is it? Is it just that you're sad that a Notre Dame guy's leaving Notre Dame? Is that it? Because I'm telling you, it can't be accomplishment. It can't be, because there are none. There are no trophies in the case that I value from any of Tommy Rees's tenure as a recruit, player, or coach in Notre Dame. None. John, you're not excited by the Camping World Bowl? No, I am not. No, I am not. So ultimately, isn't that what this is all about at Notre Dame? Putting trophies we value in the case? Like, would the people that are upset be as upset if Rees was not a Notre Dame guy? That has to be what this comes down to, because it's not on-field results. Since becoming the offensive coordinator, Notre Dame's 19th in overall offensive efficiency, whatever, 27th in points per game, 36th in yards per play. It's fine, but it's nothing I'm losing sleep over at all. No. The results have not indicated that's an appropriate response to this activity. And then I've also heard a bunch of people reached out to me, freaked out about Joel Klatt. Somebody put out something. Oh no, Tyler Buckner might go with them. And I had a bunch of people reach out to me, freaked out about that. Again, I hate to say it, but it is a similar response to with Rees. Exactly how many tears am I supposed to pour out for a guy that hasn't proved anything to me yet? This would all be different if we were talking about losing guys that have us at elite status and elite winning and proven bodies of work. I don't have any of that with these two guys. So, yeah, it could be uncomfortable if one or both leave, but I am not crying my eyes out. These are unproven commodities to me. What part of our team plays the worst in the biggest moments, in the biggest games, our playoff games, and can't compete at all and have looked totally overmatched every single time? The offense. The offense. Now, is it all Tommy's fault? No, it's not. But why am I supposed to act like we won stuff when discussing this topic? No. And then I've seen people be like, this one made me laugh. Somebody wrote this in the chat on the live stream yesterday. Notre Dame fans are going to regret this. This is like the old girlfriend, and you don't know what you have until she leaves. No, I know what I have in Tommy from what I've seen from Tommy all these years. It's not the same thing at all. I know exactly what I'm going to be missing. I've seen it all, and it's not elite. I've seen it all, and it's not elite. I've seen it all, and it's the reason we haven't been good enough. Now, Tommy isn't to blame for all the reasons the offense hasn't been good enough. It's not Tommy's fault the way Kelly recruited all those years. It's partially his fault on some of it, but not all of it. But all I have to go on is the totality of it and the whole offense and all the ingredients baked into it. There's never been a moment in time where it was an electric offense that I thought could compete in the playoff thanks to Tommy. That's never happened. So my tears are limited. My tears are limited. But it's not like the old girlfriend. You don't know what you have till they're gone. I already know what I have in him. It's the stats. It's not subjective. It's objective. It's the numbers. There's nothing there I'm going to cry about. I wish him the very best, but I'm not losing any sleep over this. Even if we lost a recruit or two over this, which is a legitimate concern. If Freeman hires the right guy, it'll be a net positive worked over in one cycle anyways. I'm willing to deal with it. This can end up being like when Kelly left, where everybody kind of won. Freeman got a dream job. Most of the fans like him. BK got what he wanted. For now, everybody's a winner in that. This can be like that, where nobody has to lose and everybody ends up in a better spot. Rees could go spread his wings without all the Notre Dame microscope, pains in the ass, people like me riding him all the time. And Freeman's free to go build this more in his image and get modern and really make this his program 100%. It is complicated. It's okay to admit it's a little confusing to know where to stand, but this is where I'm at. We'll get into who to hire next. Stay tuned.